go. Hey, everybody. This is Kevin at Podcastforwe. Podcast for us, as well as a podcast for you, we, all of us. That's what it all means. And I am your host, K Dog. That's my homeboy over there, Ever, co host. And we're just talking about the finer things in life. Learn about life, love, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That sounds like some good jargon, doesn't it?
Sounds pretty. You should run for office.
Done and done. All I have to do is shit on a race, and then I'm good to go. And then all the racist people will
Shit
vote
on
for
a
me.
race.
Yeah, I just gotta pick a race and fuck them hard in the public eye, but not really, because I don't really have any power. How you been?
Marathon, man. Just getting ready for the end of the school year here, and it feels like the closer we get, the more work they want to give me. And so,
What do you mean?
So the school's a Title I school, and it turns out that a lot of families haven't turned in their meal applications, right, to qualify for benefits, because their kids aren't going to school to eat. So it's not really that important right now. But the problem is we also use those to qualify for funding, for federal funding for Title I. And since people haven't turned them in, we might not get funding.
Wow. What a weird loophole kind of thing.
Well, we'll end up losing, funding for like special programs, like not special needs, that's already federal funded, right? But bilingual programs, ELD, SDL programs, any extra stuff that comes funded from Title I. Even resource stuff like to help families get connected online, that goes away because that's what I do, and part of my job is funded through Title I. Now, for me, it's not a problem because if we lose it, then I just go back in the classroom, which is easier than what I'm doing right now. I'd rather be in the classroom, dude. I mean, energy.
Well, you can't go to the classroom because of COVID.
No. What I mean by being in the classroom, so right now I have like one class, right, that I'm teaching, creating assignments for and grading and shit like that. Normally a teacher, a teacher like in a grade level, teacher would create an assignment and then do it for 5 different classes. I'm still doing the same amount of prep, but I'm only doing it for one class. My other periods, I'm not teaching classes, but I'm a resource teacher. So I'm calling home or I'm getting calls, and I'm helping people out throughout the day that can't figure out their accounts, don't understand this whole distance learning thing, because we're getting new students all the time.
That doesn't make it throughout the school year?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. How does that work? Like, because people are moving?
Well, you also have students that, so there's a lot of these. We dropped about 100 students because they were enrolled, but they weren't showing up. And so then we had to try and find them. But the phone numbers were dead ends and the addresses were dead ends. And so we had to drop them and we lost funding. We can't keep them. But for a lot of them, they were somewhere. They just weren't in school. And right now that they're realizing that they're going to miss out on an entire semester worth of grades, they're not going to be on track for promotion. They're going to be in remediation for high school and blah, 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 blah. They're basically just putting them on track from a university track by not showing up the semester. They're taking them off a university track and dumping them onto like maybe a JC or diploma only track. And so now people are showing up and they're like, hey, we're here. This is too fucking late.
That's a rough go because now kids are pushed into these mediocre ways of graduating, not really getting the full benefit of school.
Now they can still, right? The door's still there. The door's still wide open, but it's harder to get to now because they've missed an entire semester worth of education, right? But I'll be honest, the nuts and bolts of what is Pythagorean theorem? What is quadratic formula? That it's not important to memorize because you have it all here, right? What they're missing out on are the skills, the planning, the checklisting, the all that shit, the figuring out what is the goal, what are the procedures I need to do to hit that goal, understanding a syllabus, right?
Yeah.
Understanding what you got to do in the class to get your grade. They've lost a semester of that. So when they show up next semester, they need to learn all that again. And meanwhile, we're supposed to be stepping on the gas, right? Because by second semester, the assumption is, okay, you learned that. So now we can start really teaching stuff. And they're going to be even further behind. And a
They're
lot of them
also going
don't
to be
have.
behind in other ways that are like there's one thing to figure out the quadratic formula and that equation and all these little problems, the end goal, figure this shit out. But there's
Well, how
all
about
those little things, just as you said, how to
understanding how to
plan.
integrate, all the different parts of the Google Suite, how to submit assignments online.
Just
Um,
just this normal work stuff. Like nobody teaches you how to, I don't know, dress up for work, how to get to a place, to do certain things, how to interact with your coworkers, to
dude,
to the
how to
boss.
manage your checking account.
Yeah, because it's not like you're not really
You
training
know?
the people for the workforce. You're training people just to be losers right now. If they don't fuck it, if they're just going for the answer, like I can only think of like a few jobs where that might come into play. But even then, you're not learning the inner social play with other people and your boss and your peers, and then like customer service with other people, things like that.
Well, that's what I keep telling my kids. I tell them, you know what, the number one thing that you guys need to learn right now is, okay, you're in a place, there's somebody over you, a boss, a teacher, professor, whatever, manager, blah blah blah. What do they want so that you get what you want? You got to figure out, what do they want, how do they want it, when do they want it, all those things. Give it to them, and then hey, they'll write you a good eval or whatever, blah blah blah, or they'll keep you past the probation period, or they'll give you a promotion or something,
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
hard to teach a child interpersonal skills like that because like they can't connect those pathways. They're too busy
so
like, I just have to do this and then that's
so
it.
get this, get this. So I have a new student that came in today, right? We turn in grades next Wednesday. This kid just showed up today. His start day was today. Um, we're in class, and I run my classes. I don't like saying this because it sounds bad. I run my classes kind of loose, right? I give my lecture. My kids unpause. They can ask questions, but they know when to ask questions, is what it seems, right? They don't break in at weird times. And then at the end of class, the new student asked if he could talk to me after class. And I was like, yeah, sure. And everybody kind of started giggling because usually we just hang out after class. My kids will stay on with me and we'll just, shoot the shit and, talk about what's good. Uh, and they'll talk to each other, and they don't have a venue to do that, right? They have some social media and this and that, but for some reason they like doing it in my classroom. And so the kids started giggling, right? Because usually they're like, well, usually we talk trash after school. Not talk trash, but in Spanish is ganar la cura. You know how me and you and the guys, we make fun of each other, but it's in fun, right?
Yeah.
Or we tell jokes, or we share things, or
Well,
whatever,
that's
right?
because we're peers.
That right. So the kids do that. They like doing it in the classroom with me in the room. I don't understand why. They don't, and it's not anything inappropriate either. If like one of them let a word slip and I was like, hey, and she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I go, you don't need to apologize, because if that's how you talk to your friends, that's how you talk to your friends. But we're still technically in a classroom. She goes, okay, I won't say that anymore. I'm like, okay, great, right? And then we kept going. Or like today was a really good example because when class ended, I let them talk a little bit, a couple minutes, and then I was like, all right, guys, I got to help the student out. And then they were like, oh, and I go, yeah, but I got to help him out. So he needs help. And then usually we hang out and we talk, and they're like, Okay, we'll be quiet. So, okay. So then they were quiet. They muted themselves. I started helping this kid out. And then he had a question about one of the other classes. And since these kids are all kind of tracked in the same classes, they started helping each other out. They started telling them, oh, you could do this, this, and that. They started sharing their screen. They started coaching them, you know? So at the same time where my kids, and I don't know if I've taught them this or if I've modeled this or I don't know what, because they've told me that in other classes they get yelled at for speaking in class, or that they get yelled at for turning on their camera. And I'm like, I don't get it. You're not putting anything weird on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if there was a student that did something inappropriate, then you address it, you know. But to apply the same punishment to everybody wholesale, I don't get it. But it's a lot of little things, dude. It's a lot of little things. And like I said, I stayed on with my kids. It's a 1 o'clock to 2:30 class. I told them they could leave at 1:50. They stayed on till 2:35. And then the new kid stayed on another 10 minutes. And then I called another student that needed help too. And so really my 1 to 2:30 time ended up being from 1 to 3. And I still had a bunch of other stuff to do. But I don't want to neglect my kids to do what the office needs or what my department needs or any other paperwork type shit, you know?
Yeah, that
If
makes
my
sense.
kids want that time, because I could have kicked them out. Shit, I could have done my lesson in 30 minutes and then booted them and said, all right, guys, I'm in the class right now because I got other stuff I need to do. And, you know, I'll be straight. There's a lot of teachers that do that shit.
Because they don't
There's
give
some
a fuck
teachers,
about the what is it called, the online teaching. They were there to cash a
yeah,
check to the beginning, so now you took it to another level where they're at home teaching and shit, and they're just like, fuck this, you know, I'm collecting my paycheck, doing less
because
work.
students have told me they're like, oh yeah, this teacher just has us like check in and answer a question and then we could leave. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm busting my ass. And then since these teachers have been around 5 years longer than me, they're making $10,000 or more a year than I am. And it starts to piss me off because I know I'm using that time to give my kids a platform to interact, to do what they don't get to do right now. And I'm telling you, dude, this is the last class of the day, so they can leave and just start the rest of their day. They stay on, you know, they fucking stay on, and they always bring good energy too. So how am I gonna get rid of them?
Well, from your point of view, you're still kind of teaching because you like what you're doing. I just have a lower opinion of teachers. They just kind of slipped in there and they exert their power over kids, and
Huh?
most of
I've seen
them
it.
are just there just collecting a paycheck. So
No, I've
like
seen a power trip.
I could see the lure of saying, hey man, let me just teach a lesson, get the fuck off, I get the same check. Those kids don't want to be there, fuck them. But the problem with that is kids are kids, and the adult is the adult. And I know that sounds redundant, but it's like you should know better. So if the kids don't want to be there, your thought process shouldn't be they don't want to be there, so it's a fucking win-win. I teach them a little bit, they get the fuck off, do whatever they want, and I get to do whatever I want. And that's my vibe for these teachers.
And my thing is, okay, some students complain that the teachers keep them on too long, right?
And what? And but
Granted, this
like,
is just one class, but my kids are staying with me. They don't want to
yeah,
leave
yeah, stay too long. I wonder what that's about.
because
I
the
because
teachers
I'm
are only supposed
cynical.
to do, well, the teacher's only supposed to do like 30 to 45 minutes of direct instruction, like a lecture, right? So it's
Yeah,
supposed to lecture for about 30 to 45 minutes, really 20 minutes, then teach them a skill, right, with the information that you just gave them, and then give them the other half of the class period. It's an hour and a half. You give them the other half of the class period to practice that skill. The problem that I'm seeing is that some teachers are just taking off. They're just leaving. And I
wait, but you said that the kids are there for longer
My
than they
kids are
should.
my kids are staying there.
No, but you said some teachers are like keeping them there longer.
Some teachers are keeping them there way too long, and the kids don't want to be there that long. So they're
But in what way
straight
are
up.
they keeping them longer? Like, are they teaching them
So the
longer?
lecture's running too long,
Oh.
or they're holding them. They're making sure that they finish assignment, which is I get it, but part of this whole SEL thing is okay. You're giving them those 45 minutes to complete the assignment. The kids, you should also give them the flexibility to decide I'm going to do this later. You know, that's part of this whole hold harmless and just kind of be considerate of them, because I don't like fucking sitting in front of the computer for an hour and a half, right? Well, unless we're engaging in something we like.
Yeah, like you're playing video games, but like
Try
when you're
try going
putting
back to
work.
try going back to classes where you sit in a seminar for an hour and a half. Fuck that, right? Or driver's training or driver's
No, I
ed.
have training and meetings, and to do it in front of a computer or on the phone, I fucking hate it. I'm drinking nonstop while we're doing it too.
And I think part of it is because they're not engaging with you in a way.
They're not. It's
That,
bullshit, and I know it. They know it. And the
Can you
same
doing
thing
this the
with
whole
the
time?
school to an extent. Some of it is bullshit in the sense that, like, not you, I wouldn't say, and I'm not
I,
saying that to
I
suck your
know. I
cock.
get it.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm engaged to teach a fucking thing, then they will genuinely sense that
Yeah.
and get for it. But if I'm here collecting a paycheck talking about Gettysburg, and I don't fuck care, they don't fucking care, and then we go together, and it's like a big don't get the fucking care orgy.
Negative energy and negative energy. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's a. I know it's like not a sciencey thing that's real, but it is a thing with energy feeding off other energy. I want this, you want this, and then it comes
It's
together.
it no
And that shit's
it's an
real.
energy. It's an energy coming from. I mean, I want to say it's quantifiable, but not like the way that
It
particles
isn't.
of light are. It's what it
Not
is.
yet.
Is I just gotta say one thing: laugh track. Why did they
Okay.
invent the laugh track?
Because
Because
it
things are
works. You
funnier.
hear the
It's a
laughter
shared
and
experience.
yeah.
It's that shared experience type of energy. And
Well,
so here, if you're sharing the experience, like you said, of not giving a shit about what you're teaching, then guess what? You're sharing that not giving a shit with your kids. And now your kids
exactly.
are they don't give a shit either.
And not just that, it's like even if you're not saying it, you're giving off the energy of it. I keep saying that's fruit, but like there's probably
No.
some kind of micro facial gesture that's getting subconsciously read, and then they're like, this person doesn't care, but they can't even articulate.
Yeah,
They
if
just
that's it's you're talking about nonverbal communication.
yeah, that's
You know,
exactly what it is.
if I'm teaching like that fucking dude from Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Yeah,
Hey guys, this is what we're talking about today. Fuck
yeah,
that. The kids don't want
yeah.
to be there, and all of a sudden it took them an hour to get through that fucking sentence.
And
You
not
know,
just that, it's like you're not with your friends per se. It's a shit situation. Like for the first time in recorded history, the world's closed and they can't hang out with their friends and they got to learn on the school with
and
people who don't want to teach.
they have phones and they have this, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah. No, you need people. You need physical contact with the person. And there's so much information when you're talking to somebody in real time. There's the facial gestures that you're subconsciously reading. There's smells, the sights, how light reflects off of a person because of their movements. I mean, there's a lot of little information that our brain processes and like
Mhm.
comes down to like a who you are. But then when you do
Mhm.
something with an avatar, or texting or something like that, it's just an
The thing,
ethereal being that created another thing that's not you.
right? Well, that's why I
Like
mean,
the
that's why we'd get together at the yard house. You know, we didn't have to do that. We could have each bought a beer and sat in front of our fucking
I
screens and done
know.
the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah,
But that's
it's
not the
yeah,
same.
dude, yeah. But there's so much energy. Like you laugh. Okay, when I say something funny on the phone, it's whatever. It's maybe funny. You chuckle. Yeah. But when you're there, there's some kind of lightning there where you're just like, where you're holding your side because you're laughing so hard, or you're resonating with a thought process like, man, it's my birthday, we're here, we're fucking homies, this is the way it is, let me put it inside you, things like that. Like it's only when you're there in person.
Is that what you keep trying to get me to drink?
Yeah, dude. When you felt dizzy that one day and you were sore in the ass that one day.
I thought
Fucking let's move past this. It was so random, like, because you just talked about your shit, and I just jumped in. So California is lockdown.
So yeah, they did an Amber Alert. I don't know if you remember what those are. Seeing as how
Well, Amber Alert's like somebody being taken.
Well, they use that same system now.
The text, the emergency broadcast.
Yeah, the emergency broadcast text.
Yeah. That's not the Amber Alert only. That's the emergency.
Right.
A fucking comet's coming.
Yeah, my bad.
You're gonna get that text.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, you're fucked. This engineer, maybe.
No, so they sent out the emergency alert saying that basically we're on lockdown again. But everything kind of pretty much feels the same. So
well, from your point of view, because you don't do as much as like the next person.
Well, I'm not working in any industry that would have to make modifications, I guess. That. So yeah, if I was working at a restaurant, this would probably suck right now.
Dude, if you owned a business, like not I don't know, like a net, no, the fuck am I trying to say? Like a Domino's, maybe, I don't know.
Well, Domino's, they don't have dine-in, that's not their big thing, right? No, but
Olive Garden.
Chili's, Olive Garden,
Yard House.
Yard House.
Yeah. I talked to Adrian, and he was telling me he still goes to Yard House every now and then.
By himself?
No, not by himself, with his
with his
girlfriend. Girl? Yeah, and then he would spend like money and shit like that. And he was complaining about his mom always shitting on him because he keeps going out. If it sounds like I'm a retard right now because I hear myself talking and it really is bothersome. It's so annoying. I'm really
Why don't
fighting.
You pause it? Fix it.
I don't know how. I don't know, because if I mute myself, I don't think I'd be able to hear you. It's driving me.
Put in your earphones, dude. Put in your earphones.
These ear. No, I bought these things for a reason, and I can't understand why I hear my voice. Do you hear my voice doubled?
No.
Shit, dude. I don't know. Wait, maybe it's a setting. Maybe if I hit this button. If I hit. How about now? No, that didn't work at all. Never work. I have no fucking clue. I don't understand why I hear my voice. Wait, how about if I do this? Can you hear me? No, that's not working. Wait, here I am, Yeti. Can you hear me? I can't hear me. Can you hear me? Talk.
I can hear you. You're
Fuck.
Fine.
All right. How about now?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Fuck. The sound of my voice is linked to the microphone, and there's no way. Maybe if I go like this, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you talk? Fuck.
Talk.
It's just
blah, blah, blah.
They're just linked. Yeah.
Are you sure you want to pause the recording?
There's no fucking way I can figure it out. I figured out when you said, okay, let me lower down. So when you said that you wanted to, you say you're going to be 30 minutes late or whatever, I spent 30 minutes trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. I don't know why they're linked in that way. But when I plug in the headphones, nothing. Well, anyways, Adrian was mad because like his mom's like, why do you always go out? You're gonna get COVID. And she goes to Mexico, no masks. They believe COVID's fake.
That's the worst place to go right now.
Well, I mean, without being racist to Mexicans, I'm just saying. I'm just joking. No, but like to say, how dare you go to the yard house, and then I hang out with people who don't believe in COVID. They're not wearing masks. I get it. I explained it to them. The reason what makes you mad is the same thing that bothers me when it's something stupid. It doesn't matter if it's an actual thing that affects you or may not affect you. It's just the stupidity of it. Because it's like, so you're going to go to Mexico where they don't have any standards for, well, I shouldn't have said that. But these people they're hanging out with, not these people. Her family members who don't believe in Mexico, not Mexicans. They believe in Mexicans because they're Mexicans, but they don't believe in COVID. They're not wearing masks and they're sucking up as much air as they can. You know, like as much as they can. Spit in my mouth.
Crying into each other's eyes.
Yeah, sucking each other's spit. You know, that kind of thing. And she's like, "How dare you go to yard house where you wear masks at the yard house until you eat, and then you put the yard, you know." There you go.
Okay, so here's the thing. There is research that says that, you know, most of COVID's getting, you know, that's passed is getting passed at restaurants, right? Because, I mean, depending on the restaurant setup, you're still in an enclosed environment with recirculated air, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, okay, I went to a trip to San Francisco during Thanksgiving.
Crazy. Drove. Girlfriend?
Yeah. So we drove. It was my idea.
Is your girlfriend white?
Huh?
Is your girlfriend white?
No.
Okay, just checking because she said San Francisco girlfriend. I was like, she's white.
No, she's
it's okay. Go ahead. Continue your story. I'm racist. Just saying.
Actually, she's Mexican and a quarter Filipino.
That sucks for that quarter part. I could say that though, because I'm Filipino.
Anyways, we drove up to San Francisco, but it was pretty much like a carcation, man. We were in our car most of the time. We did
because traveling.
Yeah. The first day we drove through like Solvang, and then we took the 1 all the way up to. So it took us the whole day to get to San Francisco. Stayed in the Holiday Inn Express. The next day we went into San Francisco Fisherman's Wharf early in the morning. Weren't that many people there. We left just as it started getting crowded, and then kind of drove around the bay. Some went down pretty early, checking out different parks and stuff, and just staying away from people. But we never ate inside in an enclosed area or anything like that. And if a place looked like there was just too many people walking around close together, we just stayed away from it.
That's pretty smart.
You know? Yeah, and then on the way back, you know, same thing. Took the long way home, and spent 2 nights, you know, out there, and most of the time on the road in the car. Put 1,300 miles on my car. But it was worth it, man. We had a great time. But again, doing that responsibly, wearing our masks, staying away from people, and you know, even if there was a place that we were allowed to go, if it just looked like too much, we're just like, nah.
Well, that's smart.
Flying, I think that's out of the question.
Because the recycled air?
You know, they're trying to say that they're trying to push the airflow down, and then they're running it through, you know, HEPA filters and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, all the filters of the world doesn't like make it all right.
You're still moving air around. So
yeah,
what are you going to do? Not only that, just fucking waiting in a terminal with a bunch of other people. You know, that's no bueno too.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I don't hear myself.
Congratulations.
So you can hear me?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I wonder if... Give me a second. Can you hear me?
But which mic are you using now?
No, I've been steadily doing sound checks and tweaking the system as you were talking. And I'm using the Yeti.
That's it. I'm quizzing you.
Wait, can you hear this?
Which places did I stop at on the way? No, I'm kidding.
Ah, you stupid. San Francisco Wharf. You were driving around. Look, wait. Can you hear that? Can you hear this tapping?
Yes.
All right, so that works. So, that's weird. I don't know why I can not hear myself now. I can hear you, and then it's unsettling now. So I'm so used to my own voice. It's scary. So airplanes recycling air. I would say that no matter what you would say, you're still recycling air.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to fly. I wanted to drive, and I've always wanted to drive the one
You've driven all the way to Seattle though before.
on the 5.
Oh,
The one is a whole different thing, dude.
is the
The
one
one was
like
sick.
Coast Highway?
It's along the coast, and so it's like you have big ass redwood trees on this side or on both sides, and then a lot of the times you have like a sheer drop over here, a cliff down into the ocean, man.
Which car did you use?
My blue car, the FRS.
Oh, just put better mileage.
Yeah, 1,300 miles on the. It would have been an awesome drive though, but they both handle pretty good.
I wonder if it would have been cheaper to have rented a Prius, like a hybrid, and then go do that. Like go to like a Hertz, where you could just like rent a car at one spot and then park it in another spot and then get another car, or something. I don't know.
In my mind, I've driven up the one in a car that handles great with a manual transmission.
Okay.
So like she actually offered, she was like, because I asked her, I go, do you want to take my car or yours? And she goes, well, I thought you wanted to take your Porsche. And I hadn't even thought of it, dude. It really has been, it's on my bucket list to drive up the one in a Porsche. I have my Porsche, but I don't trust it completely to go that far, So when I get another one, I'll do that one. When I don't have to worry about paying for, huh?
Well, what do you? Whoa! I just cut you off. Go and say what you were going to say, because they'll inform my next question.
No,
You
bucket
said
list Porsche. I have my Porsche. It's awesome, but no. When I have money and I'm not worrying about maybe having to tow it somewhere far or anything like that, if something happens, then.
Have you ever had to do that?
So the oil separator went out, and I had to tow it to a place to get it fixed.
Oh.
And then the clutch went out. That's normal, just fucking clutches go out. And so I had to tow it to get that fixed too. But like I'm like, man, if something happens and I'm on the road, nah.
Yeah,
My blue car
with somebody
though,
else.
No, and my blue car, that one's warranted up the yin yang, and so and I have it. I mean, it's not dropped, but it's low enough. Oh, you haven't seen my blue? No, yeah, you have. You see my blue car?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I bought it in September.
It's a dependable car. Yeah. We talked about it and such.
Well, it's not just dependable, man. It's an FRS.
I've ridden in it too. I mean, it gets after it.
Yeah, it's a good car. And and the other thing was I had upgraded the rear speakers too. We had to do some fabrication.
It gave me chills.
What?
Rear speakers. Good sound system. Always had for scale. Shit.
Well, it had 3.5-inch speakers in the back, and so I had to put in. I had to, you know me, right? I put in a 6.5-inch speakers in the back. But I had to buy sheet metal and cut the holes in it and everything and then fucking bolt it onto the chassis.
Damn, dude. And you did that yourself at the shop, or do you still have the shop?
No, we don't have the shop anymore. But my godfather's got all kinds of tools. So Glenn has a shop in his damn garage. I want a garage like his.
Oh, the place that he appropriated from your grandma?
No, that's my other uncle.
Oh, okay. I can't tell. You have a big family. People are taking things from some people that own stuff. It sucks. Anyways.
I think I've been to Glenn's house before. It's out in East Lake.
No.
Damn it. Next time you guys come out, we got to go out there.
Yeah, definitely. Freaking, do we have any COVID talk? Or I think we're pretty much done, right? COVID's pretty much over. The vaccine's coming out. Are you going to get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let me give you some inside baseball. So, I had a meeting just recently about COVID, vaccines, and they said that we're going to get it in March. Our clinic. And the reason why is because the first people that are supposed to get it, other than William Shakespeare up in the UK, that's for anyone's following the news of December 10th, 2012, 2020. So like they said that like the healthcare workers, the frontline people are going to get it first. And there's tiers to this. So the last people to get it is urgent cares, which is us. So from that, you could divide the answers of if I'm getting it in March, then that means everyone else is probably going to get it after March. You heard it here. That's the plan as of now.
That's if we get enough of them, right?
Well, but the same plan still applies. You know what I mean? So if everything goes right, March.
So how is this? And I haven't looked too much at this, but this thing that the federal government didn't make a deal with Pfizer back over the summer, that they only bought they only bought 100 million vaccines, which is enough for 50 people because it's supposed to be the first one and then the booster. Well, this is from Pfizer. I don't know. See, I don't know. I'm not in the thing. You know,
Pfizer's the first. Pfizer's the first to get it. Like they got this emergency. It's crazy too. Okay, so check it out. Vaccines are weird. So when you make a vaccine, you already have a bunch of protections underneath that so that if, say, out of 1,000 people die or go like limp, like that's a thing. Well, I guess you can't sue them. So that's vaccines in general. This one had all those rules plus more. And it's like they also got, because of the emergency powers by the FDA, they got it out like just now. So it's got FDA approved emergency powers wise. So here you got, it's weird. So you got a vaccine that takes about 2 years to make, but you got it faster than that. So be it. And it's protected by vaccine law where you can't sue them if your child goes limp or autistic or whatever, you know, and that's already a thing. And then like also emergency powers. I don't even know what that means. You know what I mean? In the sense.
But what I'm talking about is supply though. My question is because supposedly, and I mean, it's not just the shit on the guy, but the administration had an opportunity to make a deal for more vaccines from Pfizer sometime late in the summer, and they passed. So then Pfizer started filling orders from other countries. Now the vaccines are only going to cover 50 million people. So is that going to affect your guys' supply or somebody else's supply? Or are you guys going to have to do the other vaccines?
All right, let me throw this at you. All right, so 50 million is not too bad. I mean, 50 million is like what? You know, you need 350.
Yeah, but 50 million is not 400 million.
True that, but you're getting the frontline workers first, right? That can't be 100 million of them, right? I mean, like, what does that mean?
Right. No, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? It's not that, it can't be that many, and it's tiered. But check it out. So Pfizer got there first, right? So you would want to get that, but there's 2 other companies in the run. So the FDA got that Pfizer first, and I think that's more of a who paid more, you know, to push their product faster. And Pfizer's like, we got Viagra, we got everything, we'll pay you guys. You know, like some back end deals happen. That's why Pfizer got there first. Pfizer's like a brand name in comparison to Moderna and all the others. Right. So they got there first. So you would have the other 2 who are pretty close with a 90 percentile level of protection. So they would then they would sell their shit too. So you're going to be covered by 3. And Pfizer's not number 1 in the sense.
And that's why I was like, is it really going to affect us or is it not going to affect us? You know, because everybody started shitting on Trump, but I'm like, I don't know that's going to be I don't know. That's the other thing.
It can't be in the sense that if it was like Moderna, I remember reading something about 100%, but whatever. But if you have 2 other companies in the running that are like, they were like neck and neck, You know what I mean? They were both in the same stages, and Pfizer just beat them first. So that Pfizer shit's going to get first, but it's like the other two are going to come out too.
Okay.
They just are.
Yeah.
They're going to get their emergency powers too. So it will cover. So I'm just saying by after March, everyone's going to get their vaccines, just like they can get at CVS and things like that. So what normally happens, with the flu vaccine, it'll be CVS and Albertsons and Walmart, they're going to get they're going to get it first. They'd be able to get it. And then what would happen is we would then get it. The family practices and the urgent cares, we would get it after those guys have it because they have more money to buy the shit quicker than us. And they would just get it.
Okay. Supplies here, but you can only pick one. The vaccine or a PS5?
I'm picking PS5. Shit. At least I know with the PS5 it breaks. I mean, it's kind of weird, right? Here's another thing. Here's a weird mind fuck. Okay, so the frontline workers will get it first, but there's arguments about it shouldn't be rich people. It should be the poor people. I'm paraphrasing, by the way, and they should get it first. And then there's a lot of push for that. And I was just like, if this vaccine goes south, I wonder, okay, whenever did people really give a shit about poor people? They haven't. No one's really given a fuck about poor people. But for some fucking reason, with the vaccine, they're like giving a shit about poor people. So if it becomes a thing at the end of, in the beginning of 2021, where they're saying, oh yeah, poor people are going to get that vaccine, and they do get that vaccine, I have to say there's some fucking, I don't know, conspiracy theories about that. You know what I mean?
It's because to me it makes sense. That's but in my head I'm thinking it's 100% safe, right?
Yes.
So if it was 100% safe, to me it would make sense to give it to low socioeconomic statuses first, because they're also more likely to be the ones that are working essential jobs where they have to show up.
Agreed.
Like
Albertsons,
where they're interacting with like thousands of people each day.
The
They're
stores,
at a cash register. Right?
Yeah.
So that would make sense, but I'm hearing that cynicism in you that I see as valid. People just because it'll also work the other way. Let's say, hey, we're worried. We don't know if this thing's going to be 100%, or it's not as safe as it's going to be in another 6 months. You know what I'm saying? I'm working a job that I can stay at home. I can still work from home because I'm a fucking lawyer, or I don't know, or an accountant or something. And so, give it to people first and let it fuck them up. And then once they get one, then I'll get it. I can see that.
It's rough, right? It just blows me away that I think in these ways, and okay, all right, we can both agree, pay teachers money and they will teach better. Like, it get to a point where you're just like, I'm hiring for, like, here I am, an awesome fucking intelligent person, and I want to make money, but I'm not going to go into teaching because I'm not going to make that much money. But then they started paying people. Oh, I want to, because like you're saying, I want to be a doctor, right? And why is it most people want to be a doctor other than helping? It's really for the money, honestly. It really is for the money. I mean, like, yes, it is for helping people, but you also get paid a lot.
The ones that go into medicine to help people work in places that don't get paid that much. People that go into medicine and they start doing, fucking tennis elbow and shit like that.
They're still getting paid. They're still getting paid a lot of money.
Those people are still good, but you know what? It takes a lot more training.
I hear what I'm not fighting this. I'm saying
gotcha.
You can pay teachers or more money, and then guess what? Smart people will be like, I want to teach. It's like, instead of being a doctor, I'm helping the fucking future. Doesn't it make sense? Like, now, I want my fire.
It's going to take time, to filter out the teachers that aren't worth that money.
I hear you.
I'm thinking it'll take like 15 years, 15, 20 years.
But doesn't it make sense to funnel money towards education, period? Just saying, right? It makes sense. So here we are in a situation where we're not doing that. Of course. Why? War's better. Fucking funnel money into war. Here we got a fucking vaccine. Let's help the fucking poor people. God damn it. and then they're doing it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Up until this fucking point right here, we've been like, war, this, and that. And you're like, what about these people? What about that people? What about the stimulus? What about the people? Nobody gives a fuck. But for some reason, this vaccine that could technically, like death is whatever about death, dude.
Or hey, let's put together programs so that we don't have to invest so much in police, and invest in social programs. No, fuck that. You just want to defund the police. Fuck that.
Exactly.
No, fuck that.
We should have more tanks. But like, you know what I mean? Like, for some reason, all these simple common sense kind of things, nothing. But when you have a vaccine that's been rushed and potentially make you go, I don't know, blood clots in your heart. I mean, like, I'm just going off of what the worst case scenario of COVID is. Blood clots. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, nothing gets worse than that. I mean, Jesus, blood clot in your brain, blood clot in your heart, blood clot in your lungs. I mean, all this shit's bad. So we're going to give you a vaccine that we rushed. That's like some kind of a mishmash of a viral thing that connected to another viral thing. Who knows? Let's give it to the poor. Let's give a fuck about the poor people this time around. And it like feels like it's gonna do it. They're gonna get it done. And I'm like, wait a minute, why haven't we mobilized to helping our inner like city children or fucking teaching our children or I don't know, helping the poor? But we haven't done that. But for fucking vaccines, done.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard that yet. I mean, I have to see how vociferous they are about trying to help people, but
vociferous.
but I can see it.
Right? I don't know. It hasn't happened, but the word behind the scenes is we're getting our shit in March. So that means you're probably going to get it after that. Yeah, because you're not considered frontline because you're doing it,
this whole push to send people back to work is coming from, a lot of people that don't have to work the way that most people do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to put themselves out there. Even the
but you need work.
Owners, yeah, but yes, but what I'm saying is that it'd be easy for me to say, yeah, everybody should get back to work and start the economy again, because I don't have to fucking do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My job I can do from home, or from a fucking glass wall, But the people that are out there that are having to handle credit cards and have to talk to people and shit through masks, I don't know that they're that eager to go back to work. I think they'd rather get some kind of stimulus or PPP going, where they can stay safe and still be getting paid.
Hey, it's funny because I'm a medical assistant. I'm a Domino's pizza kind of guy. Look, the poor don't give a fuck. They've been put in a position that's a weird thing that they don't even themselves understand. This is great. I can't hear myself talk, but it's great. Look, they're so fucking poor that they rather work and then really intellectually tell themselves COVID's not real, to get the job done, to get more money, to feed whatever shackles they have. They don't give a fuck. I mean, honestly, there's some poor people that care. And I have a theory that the ones that do care, because I know some, it's like they have means. But the one people that need to grind this shit out, American style, they don't fucking care. They want to work. In fact, I was at the, what's it, Dollar Tree, buying dollar sodas. I love Dollar Tree, by the way. Anyways, sponsored by Dollar Tree. Anyways, fucking this lady, fucking poor, cash register at the Dollar Tree. I know she's not making that much money. She's a cash register at a fucking dollar store, and she's wearing her mask like this, not like this, like this. Obviously, she doesn't give a shit, right? And then I'm a medical assistant. I'm wearing my fucking outfit, and because I want my Coke. And I'm sitting there, this old lady, and this is something I want to talk to you about after this tirade. She goes, hey, that mask doesn't really help. You need to put it right here. And the lady just looks at her like, this bitch. And then she goes on her way, and this bitch didn't care. It was just a fucking clusterfuck. She doesn't give a shit. She goes, And then she quoted me some fucking fake stat, you know, like she goes, the lady with the mask like this, she goes, I have asthma and I got him okay to not wear a fucking mask. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Don't fucking lie to me. Don't fucking lie to me I have a fucking stethoscope. I'm not a dentist. Like, get the fuck out of here with your bullshit story. And like, I don't give a fuck about both parties. I'm just saying, like, poor people don't give a fuck, man. They're all about this COVID. They don't give a shit. They gotta work. They gotta work. And there's people below them. And then the people who are like subsidized that has money that they don't really have to work. They don't give they are like, oh yeah, COVID's real. But if you have to work and get after it to grind, COVID's not real. It just doesn't real. I gotta grind. This shit's real. I gotta work. I'm a serf working on my peasant land. You know, I mean, this is what this is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure that's happening too.
I mean, like the people that I've seen that are poor that were like, you know, oh, COVID's real. They were able to take time off and they were able to do certain things without having to work. And I'm like, the only way to do that feasibly is like they had some means, so they're not really poor.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, I'm there, you know. But I get it. You're right. The struggle is real, you know, and people have to work. It's sometimes they gotta. That's the way that they cope with it. They're just like, fuck it, I can't worry about this because if I do worry about it, I'm gonna be out on the street.
Ever, there's poor. I've been there. Not me Well, yes,
no, I'm
but
not
like
saying
I mean,
that I'm poor.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm saying that I'm saying that I'm somebody with means that can acknowledge that COVID's real. You know, we need to do what we gotta do. But I know that there's people out there that they don't have it. I'll call it. They don't have that luxury.
No, they do not.
You know,
yeah.
That, you know, that feels like that's what you're saying, that they don't have the luxury to acknowledge it the way that it needs to be acknowledged, because the hand that they've been dealt is you work or you don't get paid. And you don't get paid, you don't pay your bills, you're out on the street.
And you know what? It's a weird thing because like I think that message has lost onto America in the sense that like, all right, here you got your communism. Chances are you won't be, not everyone will be homeless, but not everyone will have a TV. Let's just say that. But with capitalism, the thing about capitalism, what makes it beautiful is this. Look, some people are going to be fucking poor. And some people are going to make it pretty good. But most people are going to be in between. But there's still, you're going to be poor. That's the way it is. And like, we're not talking about that. We never talk about that. We just say, capitalism's stupid or capitalism's awesome. And then like, communism's the way to go, you know, or some shit like that. But in reality,
you're talking about concentration of wealth.
It's true.
You know, if the top want more, I mean, there's only a finite number of resources. If the top want more, then they got to take it from the bottom. Yeah. You know, and they do it by inventing something new or finding some new answer to some question, or shit, just by fucking predicting which resources are going to go up in value or be more desired later on. They didn't really make anything. They just held on to something and they said, this thing's going to be worth more later. And yeah, here you go.
Well, you know what? No, capitalism pushes the thought processes of if you're smart, you can make it. I mean, that's just it. Communism means no matter what you do, your destiny does not matter. This is the way it is. This is, you have been deemed this way, and this is the way it is.
And the idea is that that's how it's going to be for everybody.
Not for
communism. In communism, this is the way it's going to be. It's going to be this way for everybody. So the idea is there is no concentration of wealth, but corrupt societies, blah, 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 there always is a concentration of wealth.
You do need to have a virtuous people. We've talked about this. You need virtuous people to create like communism. That's the only way it's going to work. But capitalism works more better. It's not the best and perfect system, but it works better for people in the sense of, and this is a real thing, and people like try to fight against it. But like, I think that if you level with people with reality, look, communism is this, and socialism is this, or not social, capitalism is this. Most people are going to work hard. Smart people rise to the top, and if you're not at that level, it's gonna be shitty. But there's opportunity for you if you work hard and you think hard and you use your brain more. you got to find that angle, you know? Communism, not so much. It's just going to be this way. But everyone's going to be hooked up, though. That's the thing. So you got your pluses and minuses.
And capitalism is the American way, because we believe in upward mobility. We believe that you can change where you're at through force of will. And
it's disingenuous now, because
that's
back then,
problem.
when you had people back then coming out off the the boats and shit from Ireland and shit, like you had a choice between being on the street or fucking working hard. It galvanized people to work hard to move forward, and it worked. But what happens now is we've babied it to the point of this: if you work hard, you could be something. But they don't tell you the other part of that. They're like, look, if you don't work hard, you're gonna be nothing. I'm sorry, bro. But nobody wants to say that because we're caught in this battle of wills. You got your communism. I want this. I want this. I want this. And you got capitalism. No, it's good for everybody. But if you just be real with people and say, look, because we have this system, if you don't work hard, you're gonna be poor. That's the way it is. And if you got the shake of the dice and you're like this, you have a chance, but you got to work hard. But if you don't, you're gonna be poor. Communism is different. It's like everyone has something, but you don't have as good as everybody else. You know what I mean?
You don't have the potential.
No,
The potential of moving up above what you have isn't there.
No, yeah,
what you have is what you have, and that's it.
Like right now, you can get an EKG right now in some place where it's communistic. Let's just say with the healthcare, they can't get an EKG right now. Later, they can get one, but not right now. And if time did not exist, that side would work. But time exists. You want shit now. Those who work hard can get that now, and that's where we're at. But like, people have been lying to everybody about everything, like from the schools. Look, you will be poor if you do not work hard, and sometimes you might fail and be equal, But in reality, is this system that we have? Look, bro, it's going to be bad. I mean, you could be poor. I know people right now that can't afford internet, and it's not a thing in the sense of that, oh, woe is them. They can't see how to work hard to get themselves internet. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to, because I work with poor people, and like really poor people. And I'm like, I talked to them, well, why don't you just stream it? Like, it doesn't even click in my head that that's a thing. The guy's like, I don't have internet. And I look at him, I'm like, the set of circumstances for you to not have internet means that you didn't know how to figure out how to get good transportation, a house, a good job. I mean, there's a lot of steps just when you say the thing, I don't have internet, period.
Yeah. And I mean, and if you're too poor to have internet, there's stuff out there to get you internet.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's in here to figure it out.
Yeah. Maybe you got to walk over there and ask someone. And for some people, that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, dude, the way I set up my assignments, all my kids have access to internet because we
have to, right?
The district gives it to them. If they don't have internet, we can give them a hotspot. We'll stop the cellular system, and we'll give them Wi-Fi and everybody else in the house Wi-Fi. So I mean, if they wanted to, they could just not have internet and just be using the schools, right? But there's people where you set it up for them. Here you go. Take it. And they don't want it. And I think part of it comes from the idea of they want to blame the universe or something for their lot, and not and they're comfortable in the knowledge that they're not in control. I'm not in control. That's why my life sucks. It was out of my control. But if you tell them, hey, you could go get this if you decide to get up and go and get it, and all of a sudden all the decisions that they've made up to that point, it's like, shit, I should have been doing this a long time ago. I should have been doing this since before. I should have just got up off my ass and done something. My lot in life is not because of the universe. It's because I decided that this is what it was going to be.
That's a rough go to say that. You know what I mean? Because like
Well, I think
I've
it's a coping mechanism. It's a coping
it is.
mechanism. I could tell my kids. I could tell my kids right now. I mean, I'd be like, dude, if you open up Google Drive, the assignment that I made is the very top thing that's on there. And you don't need to download anything else. You don't need to send it to any other programs or modify it or export it. You don't even need to hit send. You just open it, click on it, like if it was an Instagram post, and type into it the answers. And I'll be able to see it as it's happening. Okay, I'll do it later. Fucking doesn't get done. So it becomes like, what else? The only other thing I could do is show up at their house and do it or open the document for them, and I can't do that. And there's a lot of people that are like that too, and I don't know, man.
It hurts, right? Because like you want to help people, but they want to help themselves. And it gets weird because when you say that, you're like a Republican saying pull yourself up and bootstrap. But the truth lies in between with nuance, right? We have all agreed on this
Right.
nuance.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's until you start realizing that we're all racing to the end goal, right? But some people just are ahead in the race. And
Yeah,
you could do
born on
you
third.
have yeah, you could do two things. You could either say, well, shit, man, Billy, he started the race ahead of me, so why even try, right? But we still need to finish the race, right? And it's hard to explain this to people, but if you explain it to them in a race-like situation, like, yeah, Billy started a fucking ahead of you, but, I mean, you still got to finish the race. So if you just work harder, there is a chance you can beat Billy. But if you can't even beat Billy if you don't even try. So like you always give him the Thundercats, man. When Lionel has to go through a series of challenges to beat each Thundercat, and one of them is Chitara. He's like, fuck, I can't beat Chitara. She's the fastest. That's her thing. And you even see her in the fucking credits going really fast. And so he has to race her. That's the way he has to beat her. Chitara has a secret, though. She can only run fast for a certain amount of time. So she gets ahead of him, and all he has to do, really, he can beat her. He just has to keep going, but he doesn't know that. So he goes, I can't beat her. She's fucking Chitara, her fucking name, you know? And he decides in that instance, as he's losing, well, I mean, she's going to beat me anyways, so might as well like not make myself lose to myself. I'll let her beat me. So I'll just keep going. So he finishes the race, and guess what? He beats her. So that's what life is, finishing the race.
I like the idea of finishing the race.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I jive too much with this idea of it being a race. I like the idea of there being a goal out there, and there are some people that are born closer to the goal.
Yeah.
You know, if their goal is to own, let's just go easy, right? Their goal is to get a Lamborghini. Some people are born into cash and they have the money to get a Lamborghini when they're 20 years old. You know, just because their fucking allowance was $10,000 a week or some bullshit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or their father's a prince or a king or fucking, I don't know, some kind of business mogul, whatever. But I like this idea of, okay, maybe it's not fair that somebody else was born closer to their goal. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try for yourself. And some people just don't. And
Well,
but Kevin, I'm not shitting on him because I feel like it really is a coping mechanism. When people are living in a way that they don't want to live in, it's easier to blame the stars than it is to think that decisions can be made and that the power rests in us, and that the ultimate goal of reaching that, or I'm sorry, the ultimate result of getting that goal or not getting that goal, it's not because of the universe, it's because of us. In Lionel's case, if he had not reached the end of the race, it would have been because he chose not to. Not because
I agree.
Chitara was faster or slower. It's because he would have made the decision to not finish the race.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's a lot of people. A lot of people, for them, it's just like, you know what, fuck it. This is where I'm at. This is how it's gonna be. I'm just not gonna even try. Because to
See,
understand, to realize that they had the power all along to do this thing and they didn't do it, god damn, dude, that's gotta drive some people fucking
well,
crazy.
I have to say, okay, there's a couple of things here. So the race is a good thing because competition isn't a thing in which it should be balked at. Like, oh
No, there,
yeah,
of course, there's competition and stuff, but
but that
always
but that is
remembering.
life because you don't.
But
Your life is better than someone in Zimbabwe, right, where they can't get water, but you can get water, but you're so poor. But they're not. They're okay. So like when the reason you feel the way you do, not you, the general you, like, oh shit, I'll never get anywhere. It's because you have some kind of a comparison that you've been doing all your life, and that's just the way you've been. And you're like, oh shit, they got this. Well, I can't have that, and that's why I'm not happy because I can't have that. And so when you refocus people into a thought process of a competition, and a competition in the sense of like, hey, we're all friends. This is I'm gonna beat you. You know what I mean? And if I don't beat you, at least I tried and I got better than I was before. I'm a better person for it. Like I ran my hardest, and at the end of the day, at least I have that. Meanwhile, you were born closer to the front. So fuck you. So when we got to the end of the goal, at least I worked harder and look at how badass I look getting to the point. So like I am an ant and you're just a person. I lived 8 times my size. You did your
your
size.
size.
Yeah. So like look at me now. There's so many little levels to this. And the thing is, when you break it down to competition, it makes it more realistic towards people. And the thing is, here's another thing, is loss is something to be learned from. So if you're racing another person and you tripped and you fell, but you got back up and you ran, you're a better person because you worked harder. So at the end of the goal, at the end of life, you look back and you see who you are and who you were. Man, I mean, yeah, I didn't win this race, but look at what I've achieved to get here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's something to be said to somebody.
What
Say
was
they want to be the number one
that
doctor,
was
right?
that
But they
was
become
Rudy.
a doctor.
You ever seen Rudy?
Yeah, the little guy who plays for 1
Yeah.
minute in
At
in,
the
in
end,
football.
he's talking to the groundskeeper, and he's like, he's all pissed off, and he's down on himself. It's already the last game of the season, and this and that. And then he's like, the groundskeeper looks at him, and is all, "What's wrong with you, man? You're 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing. You came from nothing, but look what you've done. You're gonna you got to get out on the field with the finest football team in the country. You got to attend the University of Notre Dame, and you're gonna come out of here with a college degree from the University of Notre Dame. He goes, look at everything that you've done, despite everything else that you've seen as a disadvantage. He goes, you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody but yourself. So I get this competition thing, but sometimes you lose when you look back. You lose sight at well, hopefully when you look back, you'll gain sight of what you were losing in the meantime, which was all the growth, the personal growth for yourself. Yeah, you kept measuring yourself against these other things, but really, I mean, you got to do it for you.
Yeah, but that came out of
Competition is fun.
competition.
Competition breeds the best out of you sometimes. Yeah, it's a drive. It can drive you to do those things.
Yeah,
But eventually, shit. I mean, it's like there's always somebody better.
of course, but through the competition, you've learned, and I'm saying that like America's forgotten that when it comes to, hey, you lost. Fucking feel that. You know what I mean? Like, cause my kid, like, he plays sports and shit like that. Well, we used to before COVID, and he loses. And my wife's tendency is more what we are becoming now in America. It's don't tell him that. But I'm like, look, I'm gonna feel this. I'm gonna say this. You lost this game because you weren't good enough. And it's not a knock on you. It's just you take it and you get better. That's what winning is done. You know what I mean? Like it's not about like always overcoming somebody, always destroying them. It's about losing and getting back up and then doing it
And you're
better.
not a piece of shit. It's like, hey, kid, you're not
Yeah.
a piece of shit. This isn't.
Yeah.
I'm not making a value judgment about you.
Yeah.
It's just that your team was here and their team was here. Okay, what is it
That's the
that
way it
they
is.
did better? Was it
Yeah.
throwing? Was it catching? Was it hitting? Was it fielding? What was it that they did that you guys didn't do? And
Yeah.
yeah, I think I think it's important to differentiate that. This isn't a value judgment. I'm not saying you suck. I'm just saying you weren't as good as they were.
Yeah.
Now why was that? Because that's the only way you're gonna grow.
And you know what, Picard, and like I'll take it another step. Sometimes you could do everything right and be wrong. It's the way it is. And Picard said that in a Star Trek episode. I love Star Trek. Anyways, he said there Data had a thing, he fucked up, and he goes, I did everything right because he's fucking a robot, he's perfect. And then Picard goes, it is a thing to be human, if you do everything right and you still lose. And that's life. He goes, that's life, Data. And I go, that's I take that lesson through life. I mean, you could think that you did everything perfect, and yeah, you could break down what you analyze and things like that too, as well as, yes, you should, when you lose, figure out how to win. But there is times where a loss is a loss, and that's the way it's going to be.
Have you watched the Queen's Gambit?
I love that show so much.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Love the show. No, don't ruin it. Only 4 episodes.
You've only watched 4.
So she loses. She loses to the guy with the hat.
Yeah, I'm not ruining anything. So the announcers, there's an announcer, and he's like calling one of the games, and he's just giving a brief little view of there's a montage of a tournament, right? And one of them is just like, the guy's critiquing the person that she played against, and they say, you know what, this guy did not play a bad game. He made every right move. She just made better moves. So the guy.
That's an episode I haven't seen yet.
He's all, he didn't make any mistakes. The guy made no mistakes. He was like, he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't play a bad game. She just played a better one. He played a good game. She just played a better one.
Queen's Gambit is such a good show. It makes something as fucking weak as chess good. Because like my wife, because I know how to play chess, you know how to play chess. My wife does not know how to play chess. We're watching it, and she's all about pro woman. But beyond that, she's excited about a chess game, but she has no understanding of how the game works. You know what I mean? Like, that's how good that writing is, that they made chess look exciting. And that's why they should have Death Note. I'm just saying, like, if they made a Death Note movie, those people should do it. Because all this guy is doing is writing in a fucking book and you die. That's all the show is. So these fucking people, if they can make chess this good,
this
Gambit's good.
This was really good, man. I mean, it was just,
give them more.
It's about how a singular focus, a drive to excel at something, you have to lose something. So you might
There's so many levels to it too. It's
you might win,
levels.
but you still lose.
Yeah, but that's life.
Yeah,
that's life.
What did you sacrifice on the way?
Yeah, it's perfect metaphor for life. You can excel at anything really, but you will sacrifice things. Like you want this, well, you're gonna lose that. You know what I mean? Like I get it too. Like for poor people too. Like you're working hard to be rich, you're gonna have to fucking sacrifice or accept what you have. Because in Zimbabwe, them random, those really poor countries, the pygmies that in Africa that don't have access to water. It's like they have family though, and they're happy about that. Some of them die because of a crocodile, but they're pretty fucking happy. So it's a sacrifice. I mean, to get one thing, you got to lose another, and that's the story of life. And to learn that informs how you are. I think you're a good teacher there, Eber, for you to understand a lot of these high level concepts of life. And then I know you use this in your teaching, because I do it in my everyday life. When I'm talking to a patient or anybody, when I'm working at a pizza place, any chance I could slip in some fucking wisdom, not knowledge, but wisdom, I do. And I know that that's who you are.
I try to share with my kids when I feel like they need it. I mean, I I try not to preach at them because then it's just white noise, right?
It is.
But
It is.
when I see something, and this is the time of year, 1 week left to go of school. I tell them, look, it's tough, it sucks, but put your head down for one more week and just push that boulder, get it up to the top of that hill, and then you get to lay down for 3 weeks. Play
Good
video
use of
games,
Greek
get on
mythology right
Instagram, do
there.
whatever you want to do. Just, I go just put your head down and go. Get this thing done, get it out of the way best you can, and then after that, you're on vacation for 3 weeks. Get to sit around
Yeah,
in your underwear.
that is how I teach my kid every day. It's like I use like every little thing I use for a life lesson. And at first I thought maybe I'm doing this wrong, but it's coming out in the sense like the feedback I would get would be like in it, like he would write, like essays to his teachers and things like that, right? And the feedback usually I would get like, it's my dad's cool because he teaches me how to play video games. My dad's cool because he does this and that, right? And finally he's gotten to the point where he's like, my dad's, and nothing's changed honestly from other than I'm growing, I'm learning different ways of teaching. I usually try to teach a life lesson in anything that I try, from cleaning up after yourself to
Yeah.
not peeing on the toilet or whatever. He goes, my dad's cool because he teaches me about life. He said that, he got to that point where he said that, and I was just like, I expected nothing. Honestly, at the end of the day, my wife thinks I'm too hard on him sometimes. And I looked her dead in the eye. I go, look, at the end of this story, if he decides to kill me because he's fucking angry, I'll accept that. Because I know what I'm doing. In the sense that, with the knowledge that I know and the wisdom that I have, I am pushing it onto him. And if he can't see that, it's worth dying for. Honestly, if he decides like, you know what, man, you're so preachy. You just keep telling me shit. Die, I'm good with that. I will die on my shield on this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it gets to a point where like I know how you are too. Like you teach, you do what you can. And if you die in the process, it was fucking worth it, dude. It just was, because you knew you were doing right when you did it.
I've told kids sometimes, look, I'm here to help you. If you want it, you got it. I'm not keeping you here as a punishment. I'm trying to help you out. I go, but you know what? At the end of the day, later on, if you're ever on the street or you're working a job that you don't like, you're not going to get to say that nobody tried.
Yeah. I take that from you. Nobody tried, huh? I fucking took that from you.
Nobody tried, man.
You're like, you're by yourself.
I go, I'm looking at you dead in the eye so that you remember this for the rest of your life. Nobody said, or no, you don't get to say it. Nobody tried.
It's true. Because like, if you think about it, like realistically, I know you and I know me. If it was in the sense that they called you one day, fucking 10 years from now, I'm like, hey, Mr. Nava, you were my teacher. I need your help. I know you'd be there because that's the who you are. That is the who you are. Even if you forgot about the person, you would have said, what are the odds, right? What are the fucking odds that this person knew my number and knew my last name and they said they needed my help and I told them that I would help them. So if this is the shield I die on it, And that's how I feel too. That is exactly how I feel. If I tell somebody, and this is rare for me because I'm not a teacher, I go, I'm there for you if you need it. If I say that, that's not a flippantly thing to say. That's a thing in which it's true.
Yeah,
because it is.
I've had kids come back and they needed service hours or letters of recommendation, or they wanted me to review their entrance essay or something like that, their college essay or whatever. So yeah, kids come back and they ask for help. I haven't had anybody come back and ask for like, I need a place to stay or something like that yet.
But you would have thought of something like seriously, if somebody I said that to call me out of the blue, I would just think to myself, for them to know, there's so many variables here for them to know me in that way. I mean, like, that means I must have said that. So I talked to him and I would figure a way. And at the end of the day, we would have this day because I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. I haven't been given much, but I can see angles and shit. You know what I mean? And I tell that with everybody. Anytime I'm talking to somebody, I'm trying to get them to head. Well, this is what you do, right? I always have a plan for somebody. You know, I'm all like, all right. So how are we going to scam the system? All right, this is what we do: get a throwaway phone, and then you mark it, reference one, and you get another throwaway
Well,
phone.
so we got this new kid today, right? And same kid that I was talking about earlier. And they asked about doing makeup assignments because he wants to pass the class. He's here late. He's got transfer grades, but they're only good till about September. So I said, look, is this a good number to reach you at? Because it was in class with everybody else listening. I go, is this a good number to reach you at over here? This one that ends in, these last two numbers or whatever. Privacy, blah, blah, blah. I go, that way I could talk to you about this, outside of class. And so I called, and I was actually talking to the kid's sister. And I was explaining to her, I go, look, I didn't want to say this in front of the whole class, but I have this option that I want to use, and I want to use it with everybody. I just don't want to tell them until next week after I submit grades. I'm going to give them incompletes if they're failing. Really, I'm going to lower the threshold for a passing grade to 50%. Usually it's
Okay.
60. I'm going to lower it to 50.
What's your reasoning?
We have to assume that most of these kids, they either started late or they have connection issues or they don't have adults at home.
Because
These kids are going from the COVID. These kids are used to having access daily to being in the room with a trained professional.
I see it.
And
I see it.
Now they're at home and they're lucky if they even have an adult in the room, So what I told the sister was, look, if he doesn't like the grade that I'm going to give him, I'll give him an incomplete, which would give him 6 weeks to turn in assignments. I go, and since I'm basically telling you right now, I'm going to give you 6 weeks after the 18th. I don't want your brother to worry about my class. I want him to focus on the other classes where he's not going to have this option. I go, that's my advice to you. Don't sweat my class. Save my work till the end. Work on, if math isn't going to give him that option, have him focus on math or history or whatever, And honestly, I'll probably end up. He came to me with a B, but he stopped attending class in the middle of October. So I'm probably only going to give him assignments going back to the middle of November. And if he came to me with a B, huh?
So you're working for him to pass, then, basically. Well, because if you just let him be to his own devices, he'd fail, right?
Maybe, or he'd end up with a D, and that I don't think. If he left his other school with a B, that means he was doing something right, and I wouldn't want him to feel like that work was in vain.
It's rough
because for some kids, it's not just important. It's not just enough to pass the class. When they get a D or a C, they feel like, is that who I am? And I'm trying not to let them think that way.
I think that's a legit way of thinking. I tell you otherwise. I think that's pretty legit. I mean, yeah. What the fuck? You know what though? It's funny. I have a story about that. Is I knew this one lady that I worked with back in the day, and she had this ghetto kid, and this kid, right? He was raised by these parents that really didn't give a fuck about him. So somehow his dad would leave and just not be home for months, years. And he was raised by not the stepmom, by the girlfriend who had her own kids. So it was a situation where he was raised by the girlfriend of a guy who's not even there, and she doesn't even like him because he's the boy, he's the son of a guy who's not even there.
And of another girl, of some girl that he was with before. Yeah.
And and there's like this whole feedback loop because he's feeling like she doesn't want him. He's feeling not wanted, so he's becoming more of an asshole. So she then feels vindicated and treating him like shit, right? And this is how bad this kid was, right? Ghetto mentality. He got up to 16, right? 17. The lie that so this one woman wanted to adopt, the girl that I was working with wanted to adopt them, right? And the lie that the dad said was, well, he's a piece of shit and whatever. And then she would say, what about his clothes? Like, you kept his clothes in a shed in a garage and there's mold on them. He goes, it's only, and like, this is the lie he chooses. I didn't put his clothes out there. Somebody else did. I mean, he thought that was a good lie. Like, somebody else did. What the fuck does that even mean? He goes, I don't even do that, you know? And then, like, I mean, he would come up with lies that just even make sense. So she somehow was able to adopt this kid into her family. But because he's like 16, 17, spent all his life feeling this shit, he had that ghetto mentality where you would carry a knife everywhere he went. I mean, like, they would go to a place of safeness, like camping. They would go camping. He would bring a knife with him just in case. And he thought in his brain that this was okay. So that's how emotionally scarred these children can get. Yeah. Where even nurturingness, you know, you can get nurtured. I mean, like, to the point where she was all about him going to school, all this. I mean, she was all alpha about this. Guess what happens at the end of this story? He's so ghetto, getting people pregnant and fucking almost stabbing people. She said, I can't do this. I can't. And she gave up. And what broke her, and she's broken to this day, is the fact that she really thought if she gave her all, she can help this kid. And it didn't work, because sometimes, no matter how hard you try, shit ain't going to work. Sometimes you lose, no matter how many perfect decisions. She made all the perfect decisions, and loss was there. And she had never been taught that. That's the thing. That's what made her do what she did. I would never have done that. I would have never adopted this kid. I would have been like, he's too old. This is the way he is. No matter what you do will cause harm, because that he's just too old. He's got to come to Jesus moment, or that's it. And she fucking thought in her head that if she tried really fucking hard, and she did, she left work for a month to do this, you know, and she's like that ghetto mentality where I have to work every day. No, she did everything to fucking help this kid and fucking failed to the point where she tapped out. Now, it's a thing in which when child protective services take over or whatever, nah, she tapped out. And that's not because she's weak. It's because she took on a burden she couldn't do. And that's just the way it is. So when I see you teaching kids and trying to help them out, I mean, you're not putting it out there that much, though. You're not like, I mean, you're not adopting kids, you know what I mean? You're trying. But reality is, even with what you're doing right now with that kid, giving him 6 weeks to finish an assignment.
Because the thing is, the commitment that I'm making there is to be available to check his assignments over the break.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know too many teachers that would want to be thinking about work when they're supposed to have 3 weeks off. I mean, I don't know. But then again, you know, most people on the planet don't get 3 weeks off. Or much less 3 months off throughout the year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't get time off. Yeah, I'm not used to that.
I'm one of those. I'm just counting my blessings, dude. And you know, this kid's got a shitty deal, you know, and why help him out?
I see that too.
And if I could relieve the stress,
but I can see him.
You know, if I could relieve the stress instead of having to worry about 6 classes, you could worry about 5. Then.
No, that's a legit move. What I'm saying is, what you're doing is legit, and the beauty of it is, like, I mean, you can do that and he still fail, but at least you tried. At the end of the story, when you look back on life, you tried, and that's what matters. You gotta take that away. Because even Elena, who I know, and she's a badass person, she doesn't see that in the respect of like, at least she tried. She sees it as a failure. And I've been talking to her, I've been trying, and I mean, that's the way it is. Some people just see things as failures, or they just be like, it never happened. That's where she's at now. That's her coping mechanism. It never happened. And I'm like, fuck. Because what it should be is this. You look back and you say, at least I tried. But sometimes some things that are broken cannot be fixed, Or take ego out of it and say, maybe I just wasn't that person, Because sometimes you need to get beaten down. Sometimes you don't.
Or
need to
maybe
get beaten
that
down.
person wasn't that. Maybe that person wasn't that person.
Exactly.
Maybe, and it's a roll of the dice. You can't adopt every fucking kid out there, but there are other people like her that are adopting kids in similar situations, and those kids get it.
My theory is the book of the story that's written for this kid is this. I mean, God, I hope is in the future he finds somebody that helps him, and he sees and looks back at that time and says,
You're breaking up, Kev.
I am. Yeah.
You were like talking like a robot right now.
I am a robot right now.
There you go. Now you sound better. No, yeah, I think you said like some people gotta hit rock bottom too. You said that shit earlier. Sometimes they gotta hit. What is it?
Come to Jesus.
I don't know. Come to Jesus moment. Yeah, and sometimes that comes in the form of waking up on a sidewalk and finally realizing, oh shit, there is an opportunity out there, and maybe I should go and get that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you add things to things. Like I think that what she did, although it seems like she did nothing, in the future he'll be on the streets or in the ocean or in the garbage can or something, right? And then he'll think, and then somebody helps him, somebody else helps him, and then he thinks back on that moment and he sees that there are people out there that are trying to help him, and that's what life's all about. Where do I begin and you end? The trick of the answer is it doesn't. I am you and you are me, and it goes on forever. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what life is with people. But people don't understand that. They see it as like you are you and I'm me, When reality is like we're all on this path and I'm here to help you, you're here to help me, and that's the way it's gonna be. That's a bit too frou-frou, and I know, but that's I came to.
Where'd it go?
What are you looking for? What
the window. I clicked and you'd gone away.
You know what? It happens to me all the time when I go hit Google. Hey, let me tell you some instances that happened to me. So check it out. 2 instances.
Wait, your camera is like glitching. Like you're moving like
right now? I'm too much. How am I right now?
Frozen. You're frozen. What? You're like this.
I am.
Now
but
you're
on
like
my
this.
end, I'm. Really? You're fucking with me. Really?
Am I moving okay?
Yeah, you're moving good. I'm moving good.
Yeah, your upload speed. Your upload speed is whack.
Let me see my speed here. Speed test. Oh shit. It's pretty bad.
I'm telling you, your send is not good.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at it right now. I'm at less than a megabyte per second. I've never seen that kind of speed. Oh, I'm back to a meg. Oh, I dipped down. But like right now, I'm jittery.
Yep.
How about now?
Yeah, you're jittery.
But you know what matters is how I'm recording. What do you want to do? You want to end it?
No, that's fine. No, we're good. We're good. You sound better now, though, for some reason. It was getting really bad earlier. Okay, what were you saying? You said some inside something.
So check it out. I was at my hometown, my urgent care, and he went to go get this guy wanted to get his mother tested, and I told him the way to do it. Right, I go, you got to go online, and then you got to see a doctor, and then you can go get tested for COVID. This guy was not having it. He was like, "Fuck you." So here I am, face to face with a human being, and he's like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm about to fight." And he goes, "You should be ashamed of yourself." I go, "I told you how to get the test. You have to do it this way. I'm just a cog in a wheel of time." And then he looks at me and goes, "You know what? Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. You're retarded." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty intense." And we go back and forth in the sense that I never lose my composure because I'm me. So I'm like, "Hey, look, man, I don't know why you have to take this tone with me, but I mean, I'm just trying to help you. And that's just the way it is." And then he goes, "You know what? Fuck you. If you can't take an insult, you're a motherfucker. That's how this works out. See, my mom raised me to be an ass kicker, and I'm going to fuck you up. You know what? 6 feet, motherfucker." He says this shit to me, right? And I'm like, what in the fuck? Okay, he's crazy. Cool. Got it. And this shit happens. And then says my internet is unstable.
Yeah, you're moving around weird, and your sound was going out a little bit, but I'm still keeping up.
Yeah. I guess because I have to reset my modem. I think that's what I need to do. So what should I do? Should I pause? Here, I'm gonna stop.
Pause
How
it. I
far
want
do
to
you...
hear the rest of the story.
All right, let's see if I can get this story out and then. All right,
No,
cool.
go ahead, pause it, reset it. Reset your modem. It's gonna boot us, but I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. Really? But I
Yeah,
have to
reset your.
create. I have to create a new meeting then. If that's the
That's
case.
fine.
All right.
That's fine. Just
All
invite
right, here
me
we
in.
go. I'm doing it right now. How's that? That's legit.
Yeah, that's way
All right.
better.
I'm back at 30. I guess I need to reset it. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, anyway, so this guy says I'm a shit kicker and fuck all this shit, and he's about to fuck me up. And then I'm like, all right. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. And it was weird too, because I was like, if I say the right kind of things, I could get this into a fight, but I won't because I need to be in the right. So I just said, "Look, sir, you don't have to take that kind of tone with me." And he was just so pissed off. And then this front office lady jumps in, right? She's my front office lady. She goes, "Hey, this needs to stop right now." And I'm like, "Hey, you need to back off." Because I tell her this because it's hard to quantify everything that's going on. I'm like, "Look, this guy could go crazy. He's going crazy against a medical assistant. I mean, hey, man, death is on the table. And I know that I can handle this shit, but I don't know if you're gonna live this one. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can have a knife, you can have a gun. Who fucking knows, right? But I don't have the time to articulate that. I go, "Hey, look, you need to, you need to go. I got this. Obviously, you're just escalating the situation." And then she starts talking at this guy, and he starts getting mad. He calls her a libtard, or us. I don't know who he's calling libtard, and I'm confused by this whole conversation right now. I'm like, "Why'd you call me a libtard?" In my head, I didn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it about me that said this? But whatever, so be it. And she starts to cry. And then I guess he's over it, and he runs off and drives off. People always want to talk shit as they're driving off. He's like, "I'm going to kick your ass." He drives off. Whatever. She cries, and it's too much for her, and I get it. And I'm in Michigan, by the way, and I'm like, what the fuck was it in this guy to decide, look, I'm going to fight this guy. I'm going to talk shit at least to invoke an altercation, right? And that bothered me, but not too much. So that's at my medical assistant job, right? The next day, right? I'm working pizza, working my Domino's job. and this guy comes at me through the drive-through, and then he goes, and these are both kind of like, let's just say they don't drive a Prius, and they probably didn't vote for Biden. I'm just saying that's kind of type of people they are. And this one guy comes out and he goes, yeah, I'm here for my pizza. I'm gonna go, oh yeah, can I get the name of the order? He tells me the name. And I go, can I get, did you pay or not? And he goes, no, I didn't pay. I'm like, can I get the money for the pizza? And he goes, how fucking dare you say that to me? And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on here? Like 2 days in a row? And then he goes, you know what? He goes, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to go in there and fuck you up if you don't get my pizza. I go, but I kind of need money for the pizza. I'm sorry. He goes, I don't like your fucking attitude. And I'm like, all right, man. I know you don't like my attitude, but I can't give you the pizza for free. He gives me the card. I pay for it. I charge him and I give him the pizza. And I go, I apologize for whatever the fuck I said. I didn't say that. I go, I apologize for whatever I said to cause this, And he goes, fuck you. And he drives off. And I thought to myself, I was like, these people weren't poor per se. They weren't like in destitute. They weren't missing teeth kind of thing. It was, they had jobs because they had a car, like a good looking car. It wasn't like, it was trucks, both of them trucks, of course. Right. And of course they voted for Trump. Anyways, but they got trucks, they got cars, they have jobs, and they acted this way towards both a medical assistant who's trying to help you, and then someone for pizza, I guess. And I thought to myself, in the state of Michigan, like, what is it that elicits this response to a person who has a job? So that means, like, whatever the fuck they did or do, society has accepted them.
Yeah. Either it was encouraged or it was modeled or they're coping with something. I mean, people can have stuff and still feel inadequate, still feel like for some reason they need to exert power over somebody else. I don't know. Yeah, I think the hard part is not passing that on to somebody else.
Of course.
Going through that kind of shit and then not taking that energy and giving it to somebody else.
Well, I mean, like, they say that they wanted to fight. They didn't fight. That was on the table, and I was down for it, but they didn't do it. They just talked that shit because they knew they could get away with it. That's really what...
It happens at the school, too. Nobody's really come at me. One kid did one time. He snuck on a campus, and he was trying to hang out with after school kids. I was like, hey man, you can't be here. I'm sorry. He's like, oh fuck you, this and that. You can't do fucking shit to me. I go, well yeah, you're trespassing. You're not supposed to be here. I call the cops. Fucking call the cops. I don't give a fuck. I go, okay. And so I took my phone out. I wasn't like squaring up to him or doing anything like that. I was like, okay. So I took out my phone. He's, oh fuck you, and he starts walking away, like flipping me off and shit. And I'm like, he's only doing that because he knows I can't do anything to him, right? He knows I can't grab him by the neck and fucking wallop him, right?
Yeah.
I could. It's not that it physically wasn't a possibility. But why let him bait me into that where I'm the only one that's going to come out losing? It's because he knew that he could abuse me that way. Without any real repercussions beyond what somebody's going to escort him off campus and that's it, And
so what is
I
it?
think it upset them. Here's the other thing though, Kev. I think it upsets them when you show them that they didn't actually have an effect on you, because it's a power play. And if you're still composed and you're still giving answers and you're still following rules and basically they're like, fuck. And it's almost like, and that thing about I don't like your attitude, it's because they wanted you to be more subservient or something. Your teeth like a chimpanzee, but like, okay, I'm sorry, here's a free pizza, or I'll give it to you half off or something. Then it's like, that's right, motherfucker, that's a power play, and that's somebody giving into that power play. And When you don't do that, it tends to piss them off even more. Parents come in, sometimes they try yelling at us. There was one, I remember one parent, he was just pissed because I was just like, the way I started talking to him was the way I talked to him throughout the entire thing. And it was basically like, yeah, let me find your kid for you. He wanted to just barge onto campus and get his kid. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. We can't just have adults that we don't know walking around on campus. It's a safety thing. No, I'm a parent. I already told you. I'm like, I don't know that. And even if I did know that, that's still not the way that we do things. I'll call your kid's coach, and your coach will send the student to us. No, and he tried to complain to the principal and the district and this and that. And I mean, what was his complaint? That I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what his complaint was. If I was following policy, and it was for his kid's own safety too. But
it just sucks when like they pull that move on you. And what bothers me is the fact that I was bothered by it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
You weren't bothered. I don't think this is how, I don't think so either. I don't think you were bothered by what he said. I think you were bothered by the idea that he felt that he could say that without a repercussion.
There you go. That's yeah.
I think that's what gets to you. Not so much that he even cussed at you or challenged you to fight. It's that if it would have happened to somebody else, I think you would be equally bothered by it, because you're like just seeing some fucking cowardly piece of shit going at somebody that he knows is not allowed to respond. And no, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. You won't see them do that to somebody. They won't walk down the sidewalk and start that shit with somebody, because all bets are off. That's not somebody that they can abuse. That's somebody that, hey, you can't meet me on the sidewalk. You're fucked.
I think that those people have always existed. It's just weird that I saw it in Michigan, and I got kind of mad about it because so I posted on my Facebook. And I go, I'm like, I don't know what it is about Michigan, but it seems like straight white guys start shit with me. You know what I mean? I'm only saying that because it was like 2 days in a row, right? And it was the same fucking thing.
I think it's the type of work you're doing is just exposing you to that many people where you're just seeing them. It's like the more time you spend on the road, the more likely you are to get it cut off.
That's true.
But if you're not driving that far, getting cut off, that might only be like, once a year, once a month. But if you're,
but there's insight there.
30 minutes a fucking day.
But there's insight there. If I'm seeing people in two different professions, a lot of people, and I'm only seeing like one demographic do a certain thing. I mean, like, seriously, this conversation could have been the same thing if I was in Haiti and a bunch of black people started doing shit, and then I would have said the same exact thing. Except it's not. It's white guys, white straight males. You know what I mean? Like, I have a demographic of 80 people of different races and creeds, and a demographic of whatever Domino's has. I'm way over 100, I would say. And then like the interactions that I have with people, and I'm noticing a common thread. The only people who are going to really shit on people are the people who feel entitled. In fact, all right, so I was driving one time and it was raining really bad, and I keep seeing car accidents, and it was like a bunch of, I don't know. It felt like and there was instances where I would almost get in a car accident, and it wasn't a car accident in the sense of not a car coming head on with me, a car accident where they didn't understand the right of way. Right. They had the right of way in their head. And there was a lot of that going on. And I saw a lot of car accidents that indicated such, like one car came out when it shouldn't have, because they had the right of way. And there's a lot of entitlement in Michigan that I've noticed from my experience. And I tried to point that out on the Facebook, and then it got weird because this one chick that I know who's racist came at me and was like, well, black people did this to me and this. And I was just like, what does that have to do with what I'm saying? In the sense that I go, this is what happened to me, and I'm noticing a pattern. And then they go, well, this happened to me, like to negate what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But that's not what I'm doing. And that's more racist on you for trying to negate it.
You know, everybody's story is like an example of it, right? And it's their view of it. Um, i- you're noticing a pattern, but it could be just your area, you know, where you're at, and the type of services that you're providing. Um, you're in an urgent care. I'm guessing you get a lot of people that show up last minute, right? It's
Yeah.
like they didn't really call ahead, or they
Yeah.
didn't try
Yeah.
to do like a over the phone type of deal or nothing. It's
But I've
like,
been doing this 10 years.
you're seeing it more out there.
Yeah. I agreed with you to a point, but I was just like, a lot of people say that. They go like, well, this, and that. And I go, I've been doing this 10 years and 9 years in California, 10 years in California. I mean, like, really, the most I ever got was nothing, really. I mean, like, I come out here and within like weeks of shit, like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm seeing a constant pattern. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, I don't know, man. It's like, I go from I don't know. If I saw this shit in California, then I don't know what I'm talking about.
Could it be that the national mood is just intensifying right now? I mean, they see
I
you,
give
you're
you
a
that.
minority, and so they could kind of assume, oh, he's a Democrat. I know you're not like far left. You're in the middle. You're a Republican, but you're in the
You've
middle.
heard me. We've
Yeah,
talked.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Like you go on
Right.
their podcast,
But
I'm not
but
liberal. Let's just
but
say.
the assumption is, you know, this is a guy, he's a minority. You know, he's working at Domino's, or you know, he's just man in the office at a place. They don't understand all the training that you have or the experiences that you have. They don't know you. But this is where uh, racism and bigotry comes in. You know, they're profiling you, they're stereotyping you, and they think that based on whatever they've known about, you know, minorities in their part of town, that they could treat you a certain way and you're going to back down.
That's my
And when
sentiment
you don't,
exactly.
it's like you're some uppity fucking, you know, minority that doesn't know their place.
Mm,
Uh, and it,
that's what I think. That's exactly what I think. And that's what I thought. Like, I was thinking to myself, it can't be a me thing, because if it was a me thing, that I would have experienced it for 9 fucking years and got here. It's more of it's my divine right to tell you what to do, and to hell with you if you don't fucking go with it. And it's funny too, because they don't know the reality of things, because I genuinely want to fight them. Genuinely. Like, that's a real thing. And that's not a smart way of thinking, and it's not the right way of thinking. I
it's
know
not.
that.
It's
It isn't.
primal, dude.
Yeah.
You're stressed. You're amped up. You kind of been taking everything and kind of, you know, throwing it in this bottle, because that's one way of coping with it. You know, that's
Yeah.
really the only way that some of us can stay sane sometimes. And then some people go and they box or they play video games or something, but a lot of it always stays there. A little bit always stays there, and it piles up. And then finally, you get a candidate that comes up, and he's willing to let you unload on him.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. I'm all like, God has given me a gift. He has given this, he has given me a sacrifice. And you know what the cards will be. And then this fucking lady comes out and starts fucking crying and make it, because like in reality, men will see more confrontation than women. They just will. And then so when you have a woman that's not used to confrontation, getting retard logic back at her, she doesn't know how to function. So she's like, you need to get the off the property and things like that. Me, I like to say things that are outside the box. So telling him, hey, fuck you, or you're a piece of shit, or you're that doesn't work. So what
Right.
I said was, like, when he started calling me retard and all that shit, and he's running away like he would, I go, hey, your mom did not raise you right, and you need to take a nap. I mean, I think you're tired. You're a little bit on the tie side, and you need to sleep. And I think
You
you'd be
didn't say that,
better.
did you?
Fuck yeah, I did. I wanted to fucking murder this guy. I'm not gonna lie. And this was going through my head, but I felt like if I said something as tired as like "fuck you" and
Oh
what
yeah,
I
no.
want in my head, that's what I wanted to say. I was like, no, you got to think outside the box with this asshole. So I was like, yeah, you need to take a nap. You're tired. Your mom didn't raise you right. And then he was like, oh, right. He drove home, And I like my next like when the guy got me at the pizza place, I couldn't fathom it, right? Because I mean, like, why are you yelling at me? You're just trying for a fucking pizza. Honestly, I mean, like, is life that bad for you? But it caught me off guard. It happened so fast. I just apologized for the interaction. But if I had time and foresight now I'm ready, I'm armed. If somebody comes at me, I'm like, you know what? I don't think your mom ever loved you. That's what I would say. I was like, that's why your dad left you. Or I'll say something like that to that extent and then see how far I can go. As opposed to saying, something as base as you're a fucking retard or fuck you, bitch, or something like that. I'd say something like, I think that's why your dad left you. Let's see how far it goes.
So I was going into the bank the other day, and there's a security guard at the door. He's not really like a security guard, like to protect the bank. They hired him mainly to regulate how many people are in the bank at a time. Right, COVID.
Got it.
So I'm walking up. He opens the door, and there's this older guy, big old white guy, tall, old, right? But he's got like a ZZ Top kind of like halfway beard going, sunglasses, and he comes out. And he looks. So the guy that opens the door, he's black. I'm coming in. I'm Mexican, and this guy comes out. He goes, "Thanks, homeboy." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I didn't. I'm not usually left without words, but I was like, how does he think he's being cool? I don't get it, you know? And then I watched him and he got into some random car and all like, I mean, what the hell? And afterwards I was like, I should have called him Cracker or something, or thanks Cracker, or something. I don't know, because you call a person a homeboy because they're Mexican. Well, then okay, can I call you Cracker because you're a white guy? I mean,
homeboy is cool
okay?
though. That's it. No. That's what you're saying. That's a disproportional response because a homeboy to homeboys are cool, and even if I'm a bad guy calling someone a homeboy, even then it's still
well. Then
like
give me something that would be equal, but could still be taken the wrong way.
It sucks because white people have the cool names, man. Even Cracker is like, it's not cool, but I mean, like, let's be real here. They're cracking the whip on their slaves. So you're calling them a fucking slave master? Well, okay, slave master. White people don't have any good, like, derogatory terms. They just they're to be made fun of, and you can be racist towards them.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Well, I think that's why I don't. That's why I don't know what. I agree. Cracker would be strong, right? But what would I? I don't know. That's what I mean.
No, you should have took it at the adult level.
I was trying to figure out, like
what you said.
Where was it coming from? Was he being a jerk? Did he think he was being cool? Does he think he's being cool when it's actually coming from a jerk place?
I don't think he was though, because like he's a security guard, right?
No. The guy that came out.
Oh.
The security guard is black. The security guard opened the door. I see an older gentleman coming out, and I was like, after you. And he's all, thanks, homeboy. And I was like, okay.
I don't know. I just it's hard, right? Because like you don't know this person's place or like where they are in society, and that for him could be genuine. Like for all you know, he was a gang member for fucking OTNC back in the day.
Maybe I don't know.
You don't know, but that's tough, man. That's fucking tough. Because it's such a quick interaction.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe he knows he can get away with that. Like if I call attention to it, he could say, "I was just trying to be cool." But I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
it would have been funny. Yeah,
I wasn't pissed, but I was just like,
it
I
would have
don't
been
think you
funny
should be calling
if
people that.
if he would have said, "Thanks, faggot," like, and then you'd
It,
be like, "Wait a minute, what?" And then you're like, "Hey, no, I'm gay. It's okay."
I mean,
Kind of.
almost,
Homeboy is a
right? Not
yeah,
quite,
dude, but homeboy is
not
such a
quite, but
it's
because homeboy
tricky.
is more accepted, but at the same time, it is a cultural thing, and it's not really applied to I don't know. I mean,
It depends,
it's
right?
more
It depends. Like if he said, "Hey, get on the floor, homeboy," or some shit like that. But he's just saying, "Thanks, homeboy." I mean, it is actually pretty positive. It's just tough
this is
because
Santee, man. This is Santee. This is not a homeboy
uh,
place. There's no homies out here. There's no OTs. There's none of that. Nothing.
hey,
I don't even see
Mexicans
tagging out here.
exist. You could say homeboy. You could say homeboy.
There, there's Mexicans out here and stuff, but honestly, there's no tagging out here. There's
Yeah,
no
but
seeing.
like San Diego's very diverse in the sense that he
I
could, you
get it.
don't
I
know,
get it.
you
I
don't
get it.
know. He could. It's tough though for him to say that. I would have been like, I don't know. There's nothing for you to say. Nothing you say would change
Well,
who
that's
he
why I didn't
is.
say nothing, but I was just like, I don't think he should be saying that.
That brought me up to one topic in the sense of I was telling you about the Family Dollar lady, right? The Dollar Tree lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
we said we go back to that. Yeah.
mhm. I was gonna ask your opinion on this. I had a thought about this. It was weird.
Oh, what's up?
So the old lady, she says to the other lady, the Dollar Tree, she says to her, "Hey, that mask isn't working." Then she says,
Yeah. No.
because it's over your mouth, not your nose. And then she goes, I'm just saying that to protect you because you're not protecting yourself. But in reality, the mask is to protect other people, not
Right.
yourself. So when she says that, she's just saying that. So when she's saying put that fucking mask on, she's really just power tripping, honestly, and then citing some kind of fucking science that she thinks she knows. But in reality, she doesn't. She just really wants to exert her will. That's how it felt like. And the other
Okay. Wait.
lady,
So the
okay,
customer had her mask halfway, or the register lady had
the
her mask
register
halfway?
lady had her mask
Okay,
halfway,
I get it.
but the
And the
old lady,
customer tried to correct her.
exactly. But the way she came about it was, hey, I'm doing something noble by telling you this, which I know won't fix you because her saying, hey, the way she came at her, no matter what you say, that's not going to fix her. That's not going to help anything. All you're doing is being confrontational. You just given the laurels of, hey, you know what? Everyone on my side says wear masks, so I'm telling you how to wear a mask. You fucking do it. So I was like, she's power tripping. But it's weird because she's right. You should wear your mask a certain way. But I don't know. I imagine a time where people
Okay.
were
So how would
murdering.
you how would you have approached it?
I wouldn't have told her anything.
Okay, but well, and so in with me, if I had felt that strongly about it, because I've seen people do that.
Yeah, of
If I
course.
had felt that strongly about it, I wouldn't have gone to that register.
Like,
Or if
okay.
that was the only register, I would have gone over there, put my stuff in front of her, and walked away.
So you agree with everything I'm saying. There's nothing you would have said to have fixed her.
So this girl I'm dating,
Okay.
her dad's a hardcore Trump Republican, right? I haven't talked to him. We haven't had a sit down, like let's have a beer or anything like that. But if it ever goes into politics, I already know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna start out by saying we're not gonna change each other's minds. But if we can
Mm,
agree that we both love this country and we just have different ideas about how to go about it, then I think we could have a discussion.
I
So
think
long as we're not trying to
that's
change
good.
each other's minds,
I agree.
And when somebody's wearing their mask like that, they they're in. They've already bought in. They don't care, or they don't know, or they don't want to know. And to impart knowledge is almost patronizing. And yeah, no, you're not gonna tell me shit. I don't know who the fuck you are. Fuck you. That's the kind of mentality that's gonna ultimately come from it, because that's how some people are. No
Yeah,
one's
I
gonna
mean,
change my mind right now about Trump. No one's gonna change my mind about it. But I'm not. I'm also gonna fail miserably at trying to change somebody else's mind about Trump.
yeah,
Or to
I hear
convince
you.
them this way or that. I think the
Yeah,
only legit, conversation that can be had, to try and change anybody's minds would be to whether or not accept the outcome of the election, and let the inauguration happen on the 20th, because that's something that has to happen. We have to have a transfer of power
yeah, the
under the
20th of
law,
January.
the 20th of January. What did I
Yes,
say?
not this. You said the
Oh,
20th. I'm just making sure that our audience understands
oh
that
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's December
It could be
10th.
February. It could be March.
Yeah, it's January 20th. We're going to have our transfer of power if the lawyers don't win.
But see, yeah, I mean that's just one of those things where if you feel that strongly about it, lady, then maybe she thought she was being helpful, but you were there.
You
I
know,
wasn't there.
I
If she
hear
comes
you.
off,
But if you're watching an interaction between two people and one person says you're not wearing your mask right, I think to myself, like, in what world do you think that worked? Like, do you think that by you telling her that, lady who's working at cash register, she's gonna be like, you know what, you're right.
you almost have to ask questions to give people the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
If somebody feels so okay, so okay, I'm working with these kids that I know have not read their emails. I know have not checked in with the teacher. I get messages from parents I know are asking me first about questions about this class before they ask that teacher from that class.
Hmm.
And so my first tendency was to ask, have you checked in with the teacher? And that's where I was like, you know what? That's almost like asking them if they did their due diligence. Got
Yep.
to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So
You're
what I
dancing.
ask now is, what has that teacher said? Or what has that teacher recommended?
Ooh,
And
smart.
let them fucking throw themselves on the fucking blade and say, I haven't checked in with that teacher yet. Or if they have, I haven't insulted their adulthood,
What do you
by
say if they
questioning
said?
whether
What do you say when they do say that they haven't checked the email?
they haven't checked the emails or they haven't checked the teacher. Even then, I don't admonish them, because I've kind of already pointed out what they should have done
In
without
your head.
telling them you should have done this.
In
You
your
know,
head, though.
Oh, in my head, I'm like, why don't you read your email?
But
You
they
know,
did
why
it. I don't think. You know what? I think that though, you thinking that they would have that thought. I don't think they did. I think they would think to themselves, "Why would you fucking ask me that?" No, I haven't checked my fucking email.
see, and that's why I don't even ask if they've checked their email or not. I try to I ask the question in a way that assumes that they have,
I know.
and it's to let them save face, and you have to, when you're working with people, I know but for people out there, that don't understand why this lady was probably wrong. When you ask those kinds of questions, or you want to correct the behavior, you got to give the other side an opportunity to save face, so that you're not here, you're here, or maybe even here, just kind of looking out for them, but not in a way that makes them look bad. you know um I've got pretty good with that with principals and APs and shit, and that's why they like having me around, because I don't make them look bad. uh I don't ask questions about them and whether or not they've done their job in front of other fucking people. And I don't come at them in ways that disrespect them either. Like this lady saying you're wearing it wrong. I was like, don't fucking tell me I'm doing shit wrong. Who the fuck are you to tell me I'm doing shit
But
wrong?
there's
You're not
no
Dr.
way.
Fauci or whatever.
But there's no way she could have said it in any way, even if like it was God himself. I mean, like when you're coming
No,
at him, no matter how good you are.
no, I would have been like, why do you wear your mask like that? Oh, I have asthma. Oh, okay. Dead. Done. You've already made your point. You're wearing your mask wrong, but you're giving the person a chance to explain instead of just telling them you're wearing your mask wrong. Because then her comeback is actually pretty powerful. well, you know what? I have a medical whatever the exemption because blah 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 blah. Well, now if the other person wants to win, they gotta ask, well, let me see it. Well, that's none of your fucking business. You
So
know?
it's an accomplishment that didn't happen at all. So your accomplishment was to try to change someone's mind and wearing the mask right. That's not going to happen. So you push it back onto the other person, asthma. It just doesn't work.
Right, right. But I maybe there could be another idea out there. Somebody could put it in the comments. You know, how would you start? How would you initiate this if you absolutely felt the need to? You know, for me,
No,
my
it's a
first
lose-lose. If
that
someone is
no
willing,
with mine it's like, why do you wear your mask like that? That that why are you wearing your mask like that? You know, and then they explain. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. They'll walk away. And
to
if they
achieve.
know that they're full of shit, then they'll be like, damn, people are noticing that I'm wearing my mask like this and it's weird, you know?
Yeah, but that's not going to fix anything because the person who's convinced themselves, no matter what I do, I'm right.
You're
Why are
right,
you
but
wearing
you
your
might be the second or third person that pointed it out, you
But
know?
you could
And
be the very person who points it out in the same way of you're wearing it wrong, and then 15 other people say the same thing.
yeah, but you didn't say it in a way that puts you above them. You're just like,
Yeah,
why do you wear your mask like that? Yeah,
I
I don't
don't think
understand it.
you're
I don't
gonna.
get it. You know,
I
this is something new. I've never seen that before.
but I
Well, it's
saw
like, okay,
that.
so with my kids, okay, sometimes somebody will do something stupid or inappropriate in class, and I'm like, why do you do that? Instead of, hey, don't do that in my class, you know, or that's against the rules, because it's almost like I'm assigning like a value judgment to it. But if the other way, I'm like confused. I'm like, why do you do that? Like, I don't understand why you're doing that. Educate me. Then it becomes like then burdens on them to actually explain themselves.
I think that's a
Then the
legit
burdens on them to
move.
actually explain themselves. And you're saving face because you're letting them save face because in front of their peers, you're not correcting them. You're not telling them that what they're doing is wrong and to do it this other way instead and that that's not allowed. You're kind of just like, oh, what's going on? You know, and then they're like, oh, okay. They'll it's another way to diffuse people. It's just you got to give them a chance to not look bad in front of others.
I agree to an extent, but like when it comes to old people, like these are two older women. I mean, I don't think that. I don't
Ultimately,
think. Yeah,
ultimately, I wouldn't have done nothing.
yeah.
I
I
wouldn't have
think
said
that
nothing.
I think that you would do nothing because subconsciously you understand that nothing would have been achieved.
Right. That's not an option for me in the classroom, right?
Of
Because
course.
I'm a science teacher, I've got lab equipment or whatever. And if they're playing around with some kind of probe or whatever, then I gotta be like, hey man, that's not a sword. But I do it in a way or something, oh, okay, they'll put it back down. But I
Yeah.
say, hey man, that's a sharp object. You shouldn't be pointing it at people like that. I'm gonna send you to the office. Now you challenge them in front of their friends and shit, and they're gonna go either one of two ways. They're gonna be subservient, say, okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Nava, or they'll say, no, fuck you, you're just another fucking adult telling me what to do. I say, hey man, chill out. That's not a sword.
That's a
You've made
legit
your
way of. Yeah, I legitimately think that's a good way for kids, not for adults. Adults, just let them be. Let them be retarded.
you there's other judo that you do with adults, right? Again, I work with adults and I got to use my judo with them too, but it's because I have to. In that case between those two ladies, she didn't have to say anything, but
No, she didn't. Hey, let's talk about Mandalorian. End it there. How about that?
shit, man, does it come out at midnight? I've been watching it with my girlfriend though, so I gotta wait.
No, not this one. Not this episode. I haven't watched it.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying, but I mean, does it come out at midnight? Oh wait,
Yeah,
you're on midnight over there, huh?
I, yeah, you. Well, yeah, I guess I could
Oh,
watch
I
it
don't
right
know.
now. Oh, when you say that, I guess I could watch it, but I watch it with my wife as well. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
family thing. Me and
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
family watch
Oh,
it.
it's that good. It's fucking good, man.
It is. But
Ah,
okay, let's talk about the episode previous though. What did you think?
the
It
one
was
that the one from last week, right? It was
yeah.
awesome. It was only 33 minutes, but goddamn.
Dude, it felt like there was a lot of shit happening in that episode, and it was all, and like I was like, it ended, and I was like, oh, you know,
I,
Boba
my
Fett.
brother
What did
was
you
like,
think?
no, don't let him take him. Don't let him. Oh my God, they got him. No. It was awesome. It was great. It was great to see Boba Fett doing crazy shit. A little bit was over the top. You know, him like shooting over his shoulder and shit.
Yeah.
He was looking kind of paunchy. Um,
Him
but it was
beating
still some
people's
good action.
asses with the sand people stick. Because he was on Tatooine when he got eaten by the Sarlacc. So it is in the realm of possibility that he would have a fucking sand people fucking
Or
stick.
he fucked up some sand people and took their sticks.
So be it. So be
Yeah,
it.
I
But it's cool
it,
too because he goes, no, you don't understand. The deal was this. We're saving that kid with you. I was like, oh shit. That was good.
that was good. It was all good. Um, that shit was good. I'm glad they brought back that actor, you know, to play Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Super appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Mando, still Mando. Oh, dude. Hey, spoilers, everybody. Goddamn. When they blew up the fucking Razor Crest.
Wow. What'd you think about that? That ballsy fucking move.
You know what? I kind of laughed too because you've seen that ship go through so much shit in the show, right? And how many times was it restored? You know, oh, this shit happened to, oh, it fell through the fucking hole. Oh, fucking, it got dunked in the goddamn ocean. Oh, they still repaired it. This, that, blah, blah. This time it's like, okay, repair that. You know, I felt bad, but at the same time, I was like, fuck, how's he gonna like heal it from this?
My
And
wife, she compared it to a video game. She goes, or was it Adrian? Somebody compared it. Somebody I know in my life compared it to a video game because his shit got destroyed and all he has left is a spear now, you know, and he has to like level up and find other people and get his shit. I was like, yeah, you're right. It is like a video
oh,
game.
it's Destiny 2.
It is. Everything got
Yeah, they
destroyed. You
destroyed
got to start from scratch again.
they destroyed the tower, and now you gotta start all over again.
Man,
That ain't
dude,
bad.
that Mandalorian and the special effects, I mean, it's movie quality.
Yeah, dude, I got no qualms about the special. Dude, I really liked. Okay, the siege where they raid that base
Yeah.
at the lava.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the speeder bike dudes they come down and they're all badass and shit, and then two of them like fuck up and die.
Yeah. I like how they portray the stormtroopers. It's kind of like they're in the lore of
Yeah,
being shitty as
yeah.
fucking stormtroopers. That's the
Well,
best.
and these dark troopers, you know, they've been all their video games and stuff, and I think this is the first time we're seeing them. Like, I don't know, did they come out in Clone Troopers? I don't think so, right? Because
I haven't seen them in
in
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars or Rebels,
Yeah, I haven't seen anything to that
you're
effect.
frozen.
Yeah, shit. Not again. Are we? Oh shit! You're
I don't hear
frozen.
you.
I see you.
Okay,
You're
I'm not
frozen.
frozen. You're frozen. No,
You're
I'm not
frozen.
frozen anymore.
You're not frozen. You let it go. That was the
You
joke.
were frozen.
I
Oh,
well,
god damn it.
it is my internet, so that's what it is.
Well,
I have
there's
I have
two
to
more
figure this
episodes.
out. Yes, there is.
There's two more episodes. Who do you think's gonna show up? Because Grogu called somebody. God damn it, he
Luke.
froze again. Oh,
No,
now you're looking around.
no, I'm thinking. Obi-Wan. You know why? You know why I think it's Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan.
It
Did you
can't
hear
be
me?
Obi-Wan. He's dead. Obi-Wan's dead.
Oh, it's Return of the Jedi, isn't it? Oh shit! It's
Yeah.
got to be. I guess it's Ezra. It would make sense if it was Luke. I guess I don't know. Fuck! You only have like two Jedi. You have Luke or Ezra Miller, and that's it. Or Ezra Bridger. My
Well,
bad.
Ezra Miller or something else. You have Ezra Bridger, but you also have the kid from the video game. The redhead. I don't know his name. I didn't play the game.
Well, you mean from
The
Force
game?
Unleashed?
No. The one that
What?
just came out. The game that just came out this past year.
Fallen Order?
God damn it.
Jedi Fallen
Fallen
Order?
Order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know that story.
I think he's still out there.
I don't know that
either,
story. Yeah.
but if he's alive, he's a Jedi and he's part of the canon.
I guess that'd be kind of weak, though. It really would be. It would have to be like
That would be weak. I'm
it'd be
hoping
cool.
it's Luke.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's Luke.
but I don't know. Who knows? Who fucking knows, man, dude? Who fucking knows?
Whatever it is, it's gonna be good because everything's been good so far. It's like,
yeah.
why not trust these guys?
You know what though? Have you seen the trailer for Loki?
No.
Oh shit. Marvel dropped
Okay,
a bunch of Marvel dropped trailers for WandaVision, whatever, and Loki, and then the what is the thing? Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier?
Yeah, they look like they used the volume. If you watch it, you're like, oh, they used the volume. They fucking used it, and it looks good. But it looks good, like a movie.
Oh, good.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to all the shows. Actually, I'm looking forward to WandaVision. I want to see what that's about. I'm looking forward to Falcon, Winter Soldier, and I think I'm the softest on Loki.
Watch the trailer.
Yeah, I gotta see it. It's just
you know what? I thought it would be bad until I saw the trailer, and then when I saw the trailer, I was like, looks good. Hey, we gotta cut. We gotta end this because like my internet's shitty. I gotta figure that out. I have a modulator thing, so I'll figure that out. So as always, let's end it. You good? We're gonna end it. We have to. We gotta fucking end it. This fucking my internet is terrible right now. So as always, yeah. As always, be the better person than you were yesterday. We got to end this podcast. If you like us, find us on Spotify, leave reviews, make comments, share, all that good stuff. And as always, stay frosty.